Hey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate the fact that you may have come back from watching my introductory video announcing that I was going to be hiking the Appalachian Trail at the end of March here in 2019. So this video is going to be about all the gear that I'm taking with me. So everything you see here is either going to be in my pack, on my back, around my waist, or on my body. This is absolutely everything for about the next 5.5 months, 5 months or so. So how did I decide upon this particular gear to take with me for 2,190 miles? So you may remember that I had no previous experience in backpacking, in camping, in through hiking, or anything similar to that. So how do I arrive at the items that I'm going to take with me? Well, I did it by watching a lot of other vloggers out there and what they took and what works for them. The people that I went to mostly were Darwin on the Trail. He has some awesome gear videos out there and a wealth of knowledge. Of course, Dixie and Homemade Wanderlust, she has some great stuff out there that gave me some ideas. People like Early Riser and Bigfoot and Scoutmaster helped a lot, and I really took their advice on what they chose to take with them. Now, what worked for other people may not work for me, so I'll be spending quite a bit of time figuring out just exactly what it is that works. So everything that you see here today may not make it to Mount Katahdin. So I'm sure there's going to be some changes along the way. But this is what I'm going to start with. So here we go, let's get started. Alright, so let's start with the big three. We'll start with the pack and how I chose this pack. So this is an Osprey 70-liter pack. I've decided not to go with a pack cover or anything like that, but I did put a contractor bag inside to try and keep it waterproof. I double lined it with contractor bags to begin with, but decided not to go with that and just use one bag just to save just a little extra weight on that. Now, I know there's a lot of other packs out there, and I chose this one because it was recommended to me by somebody that I think has probably less experience than I do. So we'll see if it works. I know the Z-Packs Arcall is a very popular pack out there, but the one thing it doesn't have that this one has is a cool picture of a bird on it. So this is the pack that I'm going to go with, the Osprey 70-liter, and we'll see how I like it at the end, and we'll see if it makes it. Alright, the second item of the big three is my sleep system. So I went with just an REI sleeping bag. I don't remember what the rating was that it goes down to, but I remember when I got it, I don't like to be cold, and I made sure that I got one that would handle the trail starting at the end of March and the beginning of April. I'm also going with a sleeping bag liner, so later in the summer I may just lay on the bag and use the sleeping bag liner. My sleeping pad is just a Neo Air pad. Nothing special about it. I did go with a long one in this case though, so there's a little bit of a weight penalty there, but being a fairly tall person, I didn't want to have my feet hanging off the end of it. Now this is one of those places you might find out what some of my fears are based on the idea that you pack your fears with you. What I have here is just a rain fly that I plan to either put down underneath my tent or put down underneath me in the shelters and maybe lay the flap over the top of me in the shelter to keep out extra moisture or rain. I don't know whether I'm going to need this. Maybe sending it back, but again, just a little extra protection against being wet. Alright, so here's a little extra. This is a waterproof ground cloth. I may put this underneath my tent if I feel I want a little extra protection from the terrain or the gravel or whatever it is that's underneath my tent. Also might lay this under my sleeping bag in the shelter and then flip half of it over the top of me to get a little extra protection from moisture if I need to do that. Not sure whether this is a necessity or something that I need, but it seems like something that might be reasonable. Okay, so the tent, just a Z-Packs Plexamid tent with 10 stakes. Alright, so there's the big three. The Osprey pack, the REI sleeping bag, and my sleeping pad, and the Z-Plex tent with the stakes. So for rain gear, I'm just bringing along a rain jacket and rain pants by EMS. Nothing special here. Hopefully they'll do the trick. Moving into my cooking system, I just have a Vargo pot, the fuel, the MSR pocket rocket, a little lighter, a bandana, and then my spork. Okay, so after the cook system, we'll just move over to the toilet kit. Yeah, that's a lot of toilet paper, but one of my big fears, norovirus. Hand sanitizer, and then a spade. Okay, for hydration, 2 smart water bottles. That seems to be what everybody does. And then I'm going with the Sawyer Squeeze, just one filter. I decided not to go with the tablets, water purification tablets, even though I do have this fear of the norovirus. I think I'm just going to keep it simple in this regard. I don't have a scoop. I figure there'll be plenty of empty water bottles along the way if I need to pick up a scoop. Alright, for trekking poles, just some expandable black diamonds, nothing special here. Did wrap the tape around them, the duct tape around them like everybody suggested. Alright, for electronics, I just have a black diamond headlamp. It does have the suggested red light on it so that you don't become that guy or that gal in the shelters and wake everybody else up. I do have a charger here. I should be able to get about 3.5 charges out of this. This is primarily for my cell phone. And then the triple USB port, some earbuds. I do like to listen to books on tape and that sort of thing. And then a charger for my phone. And then the phone is just a regular iPhone that I'll be taking with me. Nothing really there about that. So some toiletry type items. I'll start here with things so that I can see where I'm going and what I'm doing. I'm a contact lens wearer, so I have contact lenses. I have the contact juice in the case with me. One thing I am an expert on is not being able to see very well, so I can tell you this. Dollar store or Dollar General, $1 a pair. Get yourself lots of them, throw them all over the place, sprinkle these things all over. You can't go wrong. And then my regular reading glasses, or my regular glasses for vision, will be in here when I decide not to wear my contacts, so I have that going. In the rest of my toiletries, what you might expect, toothpaste, toothbrush, that sort of thing in here, nail clippers, a little needle, things like that. So I don't know if this is going to be a luxury item or not, but I saw where it was suggested to bring earplugs with you along the way because the snoring can be pretty bad in the campsites and the shelters. So I'm going to bring those with me. So as far as toiletries go, just what you expect: toothbrush, toothpaste, a comb. You might be wondering, why does this guy have a comb? He has no hair. Well, for the last 32 years, except for 2 years out of my career, I had to cut my hair. So that ain't happening for the next 5 months. So when I get back maybe, but not for the next 5 months. So we'll see how that goes. There are nail clippers in here, tweezers, things like that, and a needle for blisters and those type of items. So for a pocket knife, this little Gerber paraframe's coming with me. It has a serrated blade on it. I find those work a little bit better. And this little can opener here, I know I'm probably not going to be taking cans with me to open because I know the weight penalty, but for those of you that are in the service might recognize this one. This one belonged to my dad, and he picked it up back in the 50s. And this has been all over the world, so it's coming with me on the Appalachian Trail. More hand sanitizer again. I'm not going to be a victim to the norovirus. And then also another fear with me is I'm already starting out with some bug spray. I probably don't need it. 100% DEET. I'm going to kill those little buggers as soon as I can. So my two big fears really are norovirus and ticks. And I'm going to beat both of them the whole trail as best as I possibly can. Have some baby wipes here. Again, these are heavy and it's another weight penalty, but I'm just not taking any chances, so I'm bringing those with me. And then little plastic grocery bags. I have quite a few of these. My intention with this is to pack all my trash out like you're supposed to do, and any trash that I see laying along the way, and these trash bags will be great for that. They're also great for wrapping other items in to try and keep them dry. So a good supply of these little plastic trash bags are coming with me the whole way. Okay, so this is my medicine jar. In here are just supplements, vitamins, and a lot of ibuprofen. Alright, so kind of a luxury item here that I'm taking with me are a couple pads and a pen or two I'm going to have with me. I would like to think that within 2,190 miles I might think of a thought worthy of writing down. So I'm taking these pads with me. So probably another luxury item is this little fella here. This fella has been with me on all kinds of races, from triathlons to adventure races to regular road races. He's old enough to have carried a couple Walkmans in him, if anybody remembers the Walkmans from back in the 80s. But he's coming with me. I can't quite bring myself to wear a fanny pack, and while this technically could be a fanny pack, it doesn't look like a fanny pack. So I'm going to take this with me and be using it for a water bottle. I'll probably keep my camera, some snacks, the notepads and that sort of thing up front in this, so I have easy access and can get to them. Okay, so I am taking this little Z seat with me. I understand that these are pretty handy. I can see why taking a break, sitting down, you have something soft to sit on, keep between you and the ground, a little extra insulation. So I plan on taking this with me. My food bag is already packed, ready to go. I have about 5 days worth of food in this right now. Maybe a little much to begin with, but again, I don't want to go hungry. Until I figure out what I'm going to need and how I'm going to need it, I'm willing to carry just a little bit of extra. It has just the regular bear bag kit in it from Z-Packs, so these are out there and everybody's seen these before. Alright, let's talk a little bit about clothing. These are the things that I'm going to be wearing with me on this Appalachian Through hike, and we'll start from the outside and work in. So on top of my head, just a regular ball cap. Then I do have a fleece watch cap and a pair of Oakley sunglasses, and then some fleece gloves. These will probably not work too well if they get wet, so I'm going to have to work hard to keep these dry as much as I can. The jacket is just a puffy jacket, an REI puffy jacket. It's pretty light, seems to be comfortable, and I like this. I am taking a buff. Those have been recommended by several people that they come in handy for a variety of reasons, so I'm taking that with me, and I'm excited to learn how to use that, all the different ways it can be used. So on my feet, I'm going to go with some Ultra trail runners, and then some Teva flip-flops for camp shoes or for in town, just to air my feet out. I've had one other pair of Ultras, and I really like the feel of the zero drop shoe, and then they have that wide toe box. I think Ultra's brilliant in their marketing strategy. Somebody decided, hey, how are we going to put clown shoes on everybody? So we'll come up with a term like extra wide toe box. And it sounds very hikerish and technical-ish. I tried to find them in like clown yellow and red, but I couldn't, so I'm going with the black Ultras. Okay, so continuing with my clothing, I have a pair of Cabela long underwear. I plan on sleeping in these at least at the beginning. 2 pair of Darn Toughs for hiking in, and 1 pair of sleep socks for when it's cold. These may get sent back home as soon as it starts to warm up. Just a couple of moisture wicking t-shirts and some dry fit gym shorts. This is a merino wool long sleeve t-shirt from REI, and I've worn this a little bit, and this is a good little piece of gear to have with me. So I also have this REI fleece pullover. It's a good piece of gear. It really works well to keep you warm. This one comes complete with dog hair all over it, so if I happen to get homesick, I can remember my fur babies here at home. Okay, for underwear, I'm going to be wearing these swim trunks. These have worked out well in like triathlons or adventure races and road races, PT and that sort of thing, so I'll be wearing those. And then also a pair of Ranger panties, great piece of gear here. Military guys and gals will understand exactly what those are about. 511 pants, they're made out of some very flexible material, and I really like these. As far as the North Face pants go, or the Columbia pants go, the zip-off legs on them, those are really cool, but I can't find them long enough for me, so I'm going to have to go with the 511s because I have a phobia of short pants. So these are the ones we're wearing. Just a regular nylon belt, and that rounds out all the items that I'll be wearing as I go along on the Appalachian Trail. Alright, so I think I did pretty good on some of my purchases down there at REI. I only came away with 4 items, and I have to say they were very helpful there. They just couldn't wait to keep putting more items in my cart, but I did pretty well, and I came away with 4 things from there. So when I decided that I was going to through hike the Appalachian Trail, that began really in earnest about 4 years ago. And I didn't go out and purchase any gear at that time. I waited until I was about 4 to 5 months out before I began purchasing gear. I wanted to make sure that I was really committed before I made the investment. And when I purchased items, I didn't purchase a lot of things at one time. I researched items individually and purchased them one at a time, spread out over those 4 or 5 months. Okay, to help me figure out what I'm going, other than the white blazes along the Appalachian Trail, I am taking a guidebook with me. Everybody recognizes this and knows exactly what this is. And then I have gut hooks downloaded on my iPhone. Probably the most important thing going along with me is this little fellow, Wilson. He's been with me ever since he came out in the McDonald's Happy Meal right when the movie came out. And he's traveled a lot of miles and gone a lot of places with me, so he's come along on the Appalachian Trail too. Alright, so for all my clothes, I'll be packing them in this Z-Packs clothing bag. It does have the liner on it, so I can turn it inside out and use it for a pillow at night. We'll see if that works out or not, but all the clothes that I'm not wearing at the time will be going into this bag right here. So when I decided to hike the Appalachian Trail, and before I ever bought a piece of gear, I started writing items down one at a time. And it took probably a good 6 to 8 to 10 months to figure out what gear that I wanted and to get it recorded in this book. Some of the things that I'm not going to take with me that I bet will show up by the end will probably be a blow-up pillow. And then another item that I didn't include, and if it was a little colder I might, were some down booties or some down socks to wear while I'm sleeping. Those sound like a really good piece of gear. We'll see if we can get by without them, but I wouldn't be surprised if those wouldn't show up if my feet get cold or I need a better place to lay my head other than the clothing bag. Alright, so that's absolutely everything I'm going to be taking with me and wearing, and now we just got to figure out how to get all of this into that bag. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening about all the different gear that's out there that I'll be taking with me. There's thousands of gear videos out there, and I appreciate you listening to me. Again, I don't have any idea whether the stuff's going to work or not, but this is what I'm starting with, and we'll see how it does. Now, when I do finish my through hike, I intend to post a video explaining what did work, what didn't work, and the things that I liked about this gear and the things that I didn't like. What you see here today, I'm willing to bet, will not be the same items that are in my pack when I finish the through hike. Something to keep in mind with all this gear that I've laid out here for everybody is there's a axiom that says it's the operator, not the gear, that makes the difference. So really, all in all, what's in the pack doesn't matter. It's going to be what's inside me that matters. That's what's going to make the difference.